Hello, guys. Captain Foley here, and look what's on TV still. Discovery is still playing. So, welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be talking about episode 4 of Discovery Season 3, which is called Forget Me Not. And, yeah. So, welcome back, everybody. 29 of you here, 25 likes. That is great. Hit that like button if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps with the channel. And if you can, please do. Now let me pull up the chat here. Looks like we have a super chat already. Squadron Course puts in $2 and says first super chat. I don't think you were first because my analytics are saying that there was another one. Looks like it might have been a $5 one. Let me see what the YouTubes say. Assuming it'll show me that, because sometimes it doesn't show me super chats from before I start streaming. So yeah, I can't see any other ones. So I'm just going to start off by saying that this one had a lot of feeling behind it. It definitely made you feel a few things, hopefully. I don't know where to rank it as far as favorite, or like, I'm not sure where to rank this one. The majority of it was kind of for me. The whole Trill thing is fine. The thing that really interested me was the sphere data and Discovery kind of having a personality conflict or a little bit of an issue, which is leading up to what we saw in Calypso, with the ship becomes AI and becomes aware. So that was cool, and that's what I've been looking forward to. Guys, there's a bunch of stuff before I even got here, which I'm going to skip over. I'm going to start the last super chat we just got, which is Kilo Wolf at $10. Not first, but have a coffee. Well, thank you, Kilo Wolf. I don't want to get too far behind in the chat today, because then it's like I'll say something and then literally 10, 15 minutes later, I'll find your responses for it. So I don't want to do that. So we're going to start there. If you guys said anything prior to that you want to read, by all means, put it in the chat now. 60 people here, 42 likes. Awesome job, guys. Hit that like button. Whitetrium, good episode. Burnham seemed softer. I want to say less intense, and the acting felt less forced. I would agree. She seemed more human. Didn't like the Detmer thing with Stamets. I thought that was a little bit awful. But Rebel Post 71, I was hoping the Trill was Dax. I certainly wasn't. I think that would just be stupid, and I'm really glad they didn't do that. Defiant Mr. Raven Productions, their new Starfleet uniforms. Well, we're not talking about that specifically, because that's a preview for next week. So we did see it in this episode with the Admiral Tall. And they're all right. We're definitely going to be doing an episode about the uniforms, so I would say stay tuned to Trekyards for that. Hezraz, I liked it. I felt that they were trying to make it more about characters, even if it is a bit. Okay. Mark Phillip, I did enjoy the rest of the episode. Lyperidon felt a little bit like a bottle episode. Much transition from situation A to B next episode. Fleet Paw Swift back $2. A wild dot appeared. Pokeball, go! Have money. Well, thank you, Fleet Paw. Good to see you, sir. Geek in Review, the episode had a heavy theme of acceptance, and it wasn't afraid to let you know. When TOS had something to say about society at the time, it wasn't shy either. I think in that sense, it was true Trek. Yeah, this one definitely felt Star Trek, for sure. A lot of Discovery episodes haven't necessarily had that feeling. This one certainly did, and this one did initiate some feelings in some people. So that's good to see. Pixie Doodle, Samuel will dislike this episode, and I will agree. Well, we'll have to see. I don't know what he'll think about it. More faves. Burnham is actually likable this season. Shocking. I think they learned their lesson. James Roberts, should the new disco crew have known about the symbiote? Beverly Crusher didn't know about them in TNG. James, apparently you missed episode, was it 3? Where Saru said, yeah, according to the sphere data, the Trill symbiote, and he went off because the sphere data that the ship's computer has all that information stored in there because it's however many years of history, future knowledge. So, yeah. John Ford, $5. The depiction of PTSD and PSTG was a good point of the episode, especially the difference between the doctor and the pilot. Yeah, I can't stand Detmer, and her character's just getting worse and worse for me. I just absolutely despise her, and I don't like the actress much either, but that's another issue altogether. Marvin R., new old Starfleet uniforms. Hooker Unleashed Films, hi everyone. Gestrel, 1980, why is Burnham a human only one who can save the Trill and can teleconnect to an alien soup pool? Yeah, I wasn't super stoked about her going in there. I thought one of the Trills should have done it to kind of walk whatever the new character's name is through it all. Would have been better, in my opinion. But they did what they had to do, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about that when we do the review, the full review, for sure. BJ Turon, Discovery visually looks better this season, including sets, uniforms, and interiors. Something to like in this episode and some things to question. Not a bad Discovery episode. Absolutely, the ship does look a lot better. Even the shots from the top, like when we see it at the beginning, they've shortened those nacelles at the back somewhat. They're not as thin and chopsticky as they were. They're kind of more blunt. So I don't know what they did exactly, but it definitely looks a lot better. Hezraz, I am wondering how many Trill died because it kind of gives you the feeling that a large segment died during the burn. Were they trying to say that symbiotes outnumbered Trill? Confused with that. No, they're just most of the symbiotes were off-world and have no way to get back to the Trill pools. That's what they're saying, to the Trill ponds, whatever. And as a result, if they don't have Trill nearby that they can get transplanted into, the symbiotes could die. Ozzy Maderos, $5. From First Fleet Admiral Skeleton Hands, I did earlier Super Captain Foley. Okie dokie. So you did Super Chat earlier, so that's the one that I can't see. So thank you very much, Ozzy. Appreciate that. Kilo Wolf, I'll say it again. I was super glad to see the Trill be friendly rather than getting the Earth treatment. Not everything is messed up, even with the burn. They were a little bit, like, dismissive of a human host and got a little bit aggressive, but yeah, I see what you mean. BJ Turan, did Mira Giorgio just get outed? When was the crew informed of her past? Well, most of the crew know about her because they went to the Mirror Universe. So, and what specifically are you saying outed her? I don't know. I didn't get that, any sense of that. James Roberts, cool that they did include that line. I must have missed it. Obris, it's feeling more an ensemble cast now rather than a Michael show, almost like Voyager 2. It's getting there. It certainly is getting there. They do need to still give the bridge crew more to do, but yes, it does feel more ensemble. Defiant Mr. Raven Productions and the Picard era uniform. Yeah, it was all right. Samuel was right. Samuel called that 100%. I said that they weren't going to do that. He said they were, and sure enough, he was right. Species 8470. Michael Mary Sue has to do everything. Matt Deckard, the Federation has become a Homo sapiens only club. Present company excluded, of course. Kiera Finley, hi Stuart, hello Kiera. Fleet Plus Swiftback at Hezraz. In the 24th century, there are roughly 500 symbionts available for joining. That is roughly 1% of the symbiote population. I'd say roughly 50K in symbiotes. Call sign Enterprise. To me, some of the Trill security officers seem to be wearing Romulan uniforms, similar to the Andorians in the first episode. I didn't notice that specifically, if that's the case. BJ Turan as Hazraz as caught on. In season 1 and 2, they made it clear she was rescued from Klingon prison camp. That Giorgio is from the evil mirror universe is a secret to some people. Some of the lower decks for sure, not necessarily everybody. Pike figured it out. It's not that difficult of a situation to gather, to glean from, but I don't know. I never got the indication that anyone found out about her in this episode at all. Marvin R. The Andorian Trills would have been reluctant to go into the pool in fear of contamination, and Burnham was closer to Adira. The Trill would have had a harder time connecting to her. Ryan K. Seeing several past hosts in Starfleet uniform was nice to see, in my opinion. Absolutely, I agree. Hezraz at Fleet Plus Swiftback. I see. I knew that there was a small limited number. Good to know. Species 8470, they called her Emperor. Who did and when? Because if it was at the table, at the dinner, all the bridge crew, everybody there knows. So I don't understand the problem. Everybody on the bridge crew knew that she's the Emperor. Just the lower decks people and regular crew members that wouldn't know. Pixie Doodle, more sunlight through Discovery's windows as the sun followed the ship around. I mean, they were in orbit of a planet, so could have been on the sun side of the planet. But yeah, Samuel complained about that again. Ozzy Medeiros, did the spots on Trill look different? No, they didn't. Kiera Finley, as someone who lost their wife and only gets to spend time with her in my dreams, this episode hit me in the feels. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Kiera. That's sad. Mr. Captain 93 hit like. Yes, please hit like. We're at 112 people watching with 60 likes. Guys, we can easily hit 75, even 100 likes. If you haven't hit like, please consider hitting that like button. Geek in Review. Giorgio ruined this episode. She was the moody teenager at the family dinner table. Absolutely. I didn't understand her picking up the food and like and throwing it down. I didn't get that. I thought that was really stupid. But Hezraz, I know what the crew had been to the mirror universe when she was introduced, and those that had known Prime Giorgio would know something was off. Dreamer out there, I felt it odd that Gray died from being impaled by transparent aluminum, and the robot 1,000 years from now could not only save him, but it could transfer the symbiote. Yeah. James Davies, think the ship will get upgrades next week? Maybe. I mean, they kind of indicated that something might have been going on upgrade-wise with all the repair bots all over the hull at the one scene. But Sean Marrero, I was really surprised that this episode was good. It seems to be getting better and better every new episode. Well, that's good, though. I mean, that's what people want. Especially with it being season 3, people will be like, oh yeah, it's every third season is when Star Trek hits its stride. So, BJ Turan, Giorgio was referred to directly at the dinner table as Emperor Giorgio. The last episodes of season 1, she was introduced as Captain Giorgio. Rescued crew reacted happily, except for Burnham and Saru. Well, I'm pretty sure the whole bridge crew knows. If you watch back, Tilly was told later. But if you watch those episodes back, I'm pretty sure that the whole bridge crew would have been notified at some point or had figured it out. As far as I know, they knew, but honestly, I don't care. Whatever. It is what it is. I would just explain. I would just tell anybody anyway, because I would just explain that, the reason she's such a fucking bitch is because she's the emperor of the mirror universe. So, Ryan K. It's a little thing, but it's weird to me that there is a character that we see for a few times, but no info, name, rank, position, etc. Who's that? Mr. Captain 93, do you think the crew heads back to their time? No. What I think is going to happen is, I've said this before, in Calypso, we know that the Discovery was set adrift and told by the crew to wait for their return. And it sat there for 1,000 years in a nebula. And then Kraft comes, he falls in love with the ship, then leaves. What's going to happen is they're going to find a way to send the ship back, and some of the crew are going to go, not all of them. They're going to need the AI to sit for 1,000 years. They're going to send the ship back with Giorgio and maybe some of the other crew, like I said. They're going to go off, do their own thing, hide the ship in a nebula. It's going to sit there for 1,000 years, and literally they're going to be like, all right, so the ship disappears. Then they go scan the nebula, and there it is, as it's been sitting there for 1,000 years. And they're gonna need that. They're gonna need the ship being sentient, which we've got hints at in this one, for some reason. So, Pixie Doodle, Tilly seemed lovely in last week's Ready Room episode with Will Wheaton. Have not seen that yet. Hezraz, didn't Jadzia once say that everyone had unique spots in some episode of DS9? Yes, they're all different. They're like a fingerprint. BJ Turan, does everyone but Kirk and crew later on Enterprise know about the Mirror Universe? It's unclear who knows about the Mirror Universe. Kilo Wolf, is it just me, or does there seem to be some sort of friendship starting between the Big Eyes dude and Giorgio? Well, his name is Linus, and yeah, they seem to have a little bit of a romance going on, which is odd to say the least, but, oh. Snoopy McQueen, please, Captain, what does it mean to be a Mary Sue? Look it up. I don't want to get into it. Nicholas Baxter, she was trying to speed up to eat and released she lost. What? Snoopy McQueen, please, Captain, what does it mean to be a Mary Sue? Look it up. It means that you can solve every problem without being trained. You just have the solution to everything and you're good at everything. Tilly said the asshole word. Yes, she did. Liner 337 Calypso reference. Yes. Earth Sark. In DS9, it was shown that roughly half of the Trill population can be hosts. So how did their host population get decimated? The 1,000 thing was propaganda. It doesn't say that their host population got decimated. It just, most Trills and symbiotes were off-world when the burn happened, so most of them can't get back. So there might be a few Trills left in the pools. We saw one swimming. Don't know how many hosts there are, and then 50% of those are compatible hosts. With most of those Trills and joined symbiotes being off-world and not being able to get back, that's a problem. Canadian Starships, good evening. Just finished watching on Sci-Fi. At the end there, it's clear those deflector edition antenna are still there, or the droids fixed them. Yes, I noticed that. That was a nice flyby, though. At least we're getting flybys now. Hezraz, the ship is becoming sentient slowly. Absolutely. It's the one that picked the movie, and I love how at the end Sarah's like, it fills the whole room. Joy? Yes, it does that. No, I meant the fucking hologram. It fills the whole room. It's huge. But yeah, Joey too. Yeah, that thing. That would have been a better conversation. Gary Palmer, the ship was damaged in the crash. The bots are fixing it up. Still, I mean, they've been to Earth when they were repairing it there too. I'm sure there's upgrades and repairs happening. But Mr. Captain 93, what happens to all the stuff Lorca had stored away in his man cave? I don't know what happened to that. It was called his menagerie. Geek in Review, are Kelpians called Kelpians because they eat kelp? I sort of thought that was Saru explaining it. They harvested kelp. It seems like that would be the reason for the name, but who knows? Dave York, Captain Foley for President 2024. Well, you better start counting your ballots now because it takes you fucking long enough. Like, what is going on down there, guys? Kara, I'm interested in seeing where they go with the ship's AI. I am too. Like I said, I wanted to tie in with Calypso, and Calypso, Samuel thought was a one and done, that they didn't plan for anything. I disagree. I think they had the seed planted. So we'll see. Dreamer out there. It's even more weird because Stamets survived being impaled on Disco, but Gray could not survive the same thing. The robot can do complex surgery but not save him. T. Reed True, probably the blonde who played Arium for the character he's referring. Again, see, I'm behind again, so I don't know what the hell we're talking about. James Robert, Mary Sue, a type of female character who is depicted as unrealistically lacking in flaws or weaknesses. Sean Marino, Captain, I just seen your TOS T-Chopper video. I like it so much, I just bought one on Amazon. Thanks, Captain. LOL. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that, Sean. I didn't show, I realized afterwards I didn't show where the spike goes in the bottom, and you're supposed to put that against the base of the top of the tree, and there's like little things to clip onto the tree. I realized I didn't show all that, but whatever. It was more about the ship anyway. Jaddock Productions. Okay, I need to know, is episode 4 worth watching? Please tell me it is. It's absolutely 100% not. There's maybe like 5 minutes of it that's worth watching, and that's the whole AI thing and the cube data, or the sphere data. I'm just kidding. It's worth watching. Of course it is. Watch it. Matt Deckard, how dare you be against interspecies romance? Because clearly I am, because I said that. Another Met episode, says Terry West. Mr. Captain, I like the fact that the Trill pool looked very similar to how they did in DS9. Yeah, they did a fantastic job with that, actually. So I'm going to give them praise for that. Hezraz, I like that they showed all the former hosts of Tal. It was surprisingly touching. Yeah, there's only like 5 other hosts, well, 6 other hosts, including Gray. But how long can 6 people live, you know? Like, how long? I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how old the oldest one was, or how long ago. Richard Joy, the Empress falling for the non-humans sounds weird, as aren't the Terran Empire xenophobic? Looks like she's toying with him for shits and giggles. Exactly. Yeah, that's what it does feel like. And yes, they are xenophobic. Dystopian Guy, droids fixed antenna last episode, but put the caps back on the ends. Daniel White, didn't the one fly above Trill? Didn't the one fly above Trill, the metal look much more gray? The metal of the ship? I didn't think it looked gray at all. Treximus Prime Productions. Good morning from Germany, Captain. Good morning, Germany from Canada. Anthony Green, the ship going back is how they find out about the burn. It just sits there, watches, and records. That's how they figure out what happened. A little Dos Ex Machina. That's really good. I like that. I would be down for that. I don't know why you have to send it back 1,000 years, though. You only have to send it back 120 years. But oh well. Giorgio is the comic relief now, I think. Lorik, the bots are being directed, the ship's AI. That's why you see them so much. I would buy that. Terry West 111, did you notice that Tal said she and her partner were on a generational ship? I hope we get to see it. Yeah, I did notice that, because at that point, any travel, any great distance would take a while, so. Geek in Review, do you think they'll kill Stamets this season? No, I don't. BJ Tehran, $5. Don't they ever close the garage shuttle bay door? No, they don't. It was open during the movie as well. You could see the nacelles, which is a nice visual, I gotta say, for behind a movie screen. But T. Reed True came in late. What do you think of this episode? I thought it was all right. Definitely hit you in the feels. Had some good writing and some good emotional moments behind it. And if you're into that kind of thing, cool. I thought the best episode for me was, or the best part of the episode was the B plot. Not about Detmer and Stamets, and that was just made me despise Detmer even more. I just do not like that character. It was more the, like I said, the sphere data and the ship with the two little voices that the ship has right now. Kira, they leave it open because the ship gets hot with all the explosions and body heat, warp cores, etc. Yeah, that's why. Terry West 111. Did you notice one host was wearing a Picard type uniform? Yes, I did notice this. It's my job to notice these things. Trust me, we'll be doing episodes on these things as well, so stay tuned. Mr. Captain 93, think Tilly will end up being able to interface with the spore drive? I think anybody will be able to at one point. T. Reed True, never mind my question, but how was your night? And Samuel called the Picard uniforms. Yeah, he definitely did call them. I already gave him credit for that, and kudos to him for that. My night was all right. Thank you. Video Void TV. This was a pretty good episode. Michael shouldn't have been with Adira in the pool. Should have been the monk. But this has been the only episodes I've had only one page of notes for. Well, cool. There you go. Ryan K. The Picard uniform looked pretty good in my opinion. SC Scout Guy, I would like to know where all the shuttles are stored. There was only one shuttle in the bay in this episode. I noticed that too. Well, the same thing as in TOS. There's actually four Type F shuttles on a Constitution class ship. 2 of them are usually in the bay, and 2 of them are below. You can hold up to like 4, I think, below the bay, and then they go back a bit. So if you only see 1 in the bay, there's 3 stored below. So it could be the same thing with Discovery. Marvin R. Names of all the hosts is Kashatal, Jovar Tal, Medela Tal, Karatal, Senatal, Greytal, and Adiratal. BJ Turan, Giorgio loves and eats aliens. She is flexible. Recalls Orion's sex scene from last episode of season 1. Mr. Captain 93, do you think the android Admiral Picard will be in Starfleet HQ? No. Why would he be? He's dead. I don't know if you paid attention at the end of Picard, but they put him in the android body that'll still die and expire at the same time he was going to originally, give or take. So they didn't extend his life, and he even made a joke of it and said, I would have liked another 10 years maybe. So. Good tea, nice house. So the host appeared as they were when they died. There was a Picard-era host who was looking about 30 years old, along with a few others that were young. How on earth would there be only 600? There. That shouldn't happen again. I made sure I fixed that. So, but yeah, as I was saying, yeah, it'd be interesting to find out how long each of those lived. And is it like a Force ghost? Can you come back and look like anything you want? Because, you could look like a young Hayden Christensen. Who knows? Jedi Productions, thanks, man. Watching these videos and Trek is all I have at the moment. Oh, I thought you had a lot going on. I thought you had some stuff going on, new relationship and your 3D modeling and stuff, but I hope everything's okay. Terry West 111. I am willing to bet they will use Tal as a connection to Picard. Oh, they fucking better not. Sea Dart, the normal complement of a Type F shuttle on the Constitution class is 7 shuttles. Where do you get that information from? Because I've seen Doug Drexler's official cutaway that shows there's 4. So I don't know where you get 7 from. Sea Dart, let me know where you get 7 from, because I call bullshit on that. 100%. 138 people watching, which is great. 92 likes. Can we get 8 more likes to hit 100 likes? That would be awesome, guys. Why didn't they beam down to Trill? I I wondered the exact same thing, man. Marvin R., I think the host's appearance is based on the core of their self-image, not what they look like when they died. I totally agree. Geek in Review, Discovery has those smaller ships that were used in episode 1 of season 2 below the shuttle bay. Grid Cube, I like this episode. The only problem I got with it is that they fell into the bury your gaze trope again. Second non-hetero couple, and second time they kill one of them, and then magic them back. Okay. BJ Turan, love how Captain Saru sends an important landing party to planet's surface with only Burnham, and then ignores them for the rest of the episode. Gives crew the night off. That's pretty funny. Ozzy, Badgie is in your phone. No, it's just the Wi-Fi signal. I just switched over to the LTE network, so it won't happen again. Mr. Captain 93, do you think there will be a know-it tell? Squadricorus, I would think that the best part of each host consciousness lives on the symbiote. They seem to be independent thinkers, so maybe they can look whatever age they want. I would agree. I think they'd make themselves appear as they'd want to be, as they want to. Like I said, it's like a Force Ghost thing. Mr. Captain 93, I think it would be cool to see a 31st century Borg. I do not. I don't want to see Dax. I don't want to see the Borg. We don't need to see these things. We don't need to use them as crutches. It's not necessary. I mean, sure, it would be cool, I guess, but I personally don't want to see it. I think it'd be a cop-out. But that's just me. A lot of people dislike my opinion, so that's fine. SC Scout Guy. I still think that Cleveland Booker is actually Michael's brother. Her mother ended up going 30 years less into the future. That would be very Star Wars of them, I guess. Dystopian Guy. Why no bigger on the inside ships and places? Ha ha ha. No Trekyards Enterprise. No Trekyards Enterprise lied. I guess, yeah. Matt Deckard. They didn't beam because the Federation Standard Shuttle a contact to be in 99%. Oh, has a contract to be 99% of New Trek. There you go. Hezraz. Depending on what alt universe or mirror universe, in one, Vulcan and Terrans made an empire. In another, Vulcans proved themselves by eradicating Romulans and became equals. In another verse, another Vulcans are slaves. Again, where do you get all that information from? Geek in Review. I think they didn't transport as the Trill wouldn't be able to walk them in the wrong direction if they could just beam away on the spot. Anthony Green. The probably didn't beam because of the symbiote. Discovery's transporters are 900 years out of date. They are obsolete by TNG standards, too. I remember that Shrills don't like to be beamed until DS9. That's a very good point, actually. I like that, Anthony. I'm going to have to mention that tomorrow during the review, so thank you. Rebel Poet 71. I want to see what becomes of the Cardassians. I mean, we did see a Cardassian chasing Michael and Book in the first episode, so they are still around. AK Steel, not a bad episode. Scenes drug on too long in some places. A few of them, yes, I would agree with you there. Pixie Doodle, nice to see the Trill anatomy of how a symbiote connects to the body. Hello, Ming. Nice to see you. Dedek Productions, I personally want to see Tilly kick the Emperor's arse. Well, she's pregnant at this time. Well, not the character, but the actress, so you won't be seeing that. That's why she didn't do that. Sea Dart, Captain Booklet of General Plans, sheet 4 of 12. Ah, okay. Well, see, that's not canon. I know. It's funny hearing me say that. I don't buy that there's 7 shuttles on that ship. 4 is a stretch, in my opinion, for the size of it. But, okay. It's good to know. Hezraz, also Mirror Universe Spock had a human mother and Vulcan father. Maybe Giorgio is into weirdness. LOL, a late comment, but yeah. Rebel Post 71, always wanted a TARDIS to appear on the Enterprise shuttle bay. Funny, because I never did. Terry West 111, don't mention those disco shuttles or you'll give the captain crazy. No, they're perfectly fine in this instance because it's actually a shuttle from Discovery. So Dax got beamed a lot, yes, but they had updated the transporters by then. BJ Tehran, it would be very much like Discovery Season 1 for Booker and Burnham to be finding their brother and sister after having kids. Very Greek tragedy. They wouldn't do that in Star Trek, though. That's something I think that would be too much. Hezraz, I was just saying it's non-canon. And non-canon is where I got the information from the books on Mirror Universe. I don't agree, but I was just trying to give Richard Joy an explanation for Giorgio and Linus. Gotcha. Anthony Green, $5. I feel special now. LOL. Thanks. No problem, Anthony. Why do you feel special? What did I do? Well, if you feel special, that's a good thing. So, Squadra Course. There are books about the Mirror Universe that can't be reconciled with each other or later episodes. So they explain them as being many different Mirror Universes, and I'm fine with that because this whole show that we're watching is the Discoverse. It's its own thing. So. Ian Nelson got more character building on the Trill as a species than most of DS9. Species 8470, Tilly's pregnant. She was when they were filming this, yes. Mary Wiseman was. RoboPost 71, a symbiote is apparently a lot like what's between a facehugger and a chestburster. Yeah, it's that nice middle ground. Richard Joy, cheers. I usually look at canon, but yeah, universes could have different take on the Terran Empire. As for Smear Spock, who's to say that Sarek didn't force himself on Amanda? Aaron Lavelle, first Thanksgiving for the crew went about like every Thanksgiving, every family dinner I've been to. I've never had a family dinner that went like that, so I guess I'm lucky, but damn. I love how Tilly's like, yeah, this is just a Tuesday for me growing up. Grid Cube, the scene where they were eating and the space Nazis started to interrupt reminded me that the last time we saw her eating, she was eating Saru's people. It's very true. Aaron Lavelle, except we didn't have a murderous anti-Giorgio. Jatic Productions, that's not the beaming species was referring to. What? BJ Tehran, agree, Mirror Universe should be the sandbox of Star Trek. Don't worry about making sense in universe. Terry West 111, did anyone see that they still believe that there's no recorded instance of a symbiote being joined with the non-Trill? LOL. I guess the Time Riker hosted a symbiote. LOL. Doesn't mean that those records survived 930 years into the future. They don't know every instance of everything that happened, you know? Terry West 111, the Time Riker hosted symbiote is forgotten. Yes. We paused Swift back $5. 114 likes, awesome. Can we hit 150? I think we can. One race I don't want to see are the Klingons, but I wouldn't mind seeing Mary and Shazad. I wouldn't mind seeing the Klingons, and they better look right. That's all I'll say. If you do see them, they should look right. 153 people watching with 122 likes. Guys, that is awesome. I think we can get those numbers up a bit. If you haven't hit like, please hit that like button, the thumbs up. We really appreciate it. I'm extremely frustrated today. And my son keeps going in and out of his room and turning off and on light switches. And I'm getting very frustrated. And don't know if you can tell, I've been kind of irritated this whole live. So, SC Scout Guy, I wonder if the actual DS9 station still exists during this timeline. Who knows? YJ Wrangler, Cap, are you using a VPN? I still don't have it on Crave. Yeah, it's funny. It's being released on Fridays on Crave for some reason. A lot of my friends that look for it on Crave here don't find it. You can watch it on Sci-Fi, on CTV Sci-Fi at 9 o'clock. It was on tonight. But yeah, you can use VPNs. They're not illegal. That's all I'll say. Grid Cube, there's a few episodes in DS9 when they go to the electric pools with the Esri Dax. They discovered that any Trill should be able to join, which is contradicted by today's episode. It's not, though. What they're saying, the problem with their society right now is most of the Trill symbiotes are off-world. They're off doing what Trill symbiotes do. And when the burn happened, most of them can't get back. So they're missing out on a lot of the Trills, the symbiotes, and the Trills that are out there that have been trained to host or whatever, because you have to go through the process, the recruitment process. Sure, every Trill could probably do it, but they didn't contradict that at all. They didn't. They said the society's collapsing, but it's because the feeling that I got was because most of it was because of the burn. They're out there. They just can't get back home. Captain Casey Stewart, don't like them called squids. Yeah. Linner 337, Samuel will like that, although Burnham is trigger happy she used stun. Mark Lawrence, $5. Oops, didn't realize there was a live stream right now. Hey, Mark, I saw your message on my phone, which is I'm using to record, but I couldn't answer it, obviously. But hey, Mark, how's it going? Terry West loved this is a Tuesday for me growing up line. Yeah. Let's see, Dreamer out there, I could tell what, that I'm agitated and just not myself today. Jadic Productions, Stuart, you are awesome. Keep this awesome stuff up. Thank you very much. BJ Tehran, after watching the violence, foul language, and cannibalism in Discovery Season 1 of Picard, I don't think they think there is anything they could not consider placing in modern Trek. I think Book and Burnham having a kid and them turning out to be brother and sister is a little too much. Rebel Poet 71, are things rough up in Canada because it's so nice down here? Things are great in Canada. I don't know what you mean specifically. I know you're talking about the election thing down there, but like, get your shit together, guys. What is this, day 3 of election day? Like, what the fuck? I want to know what happened. I want to know who the winner is. James Roberts, with Riker, it wasn't a successful joining, just temporary till they got a Trill to take it. Yes. Richard Joy, in the future, the Klingons supposedly joined the Federation, if you can believe Daniels. So I'm wondering if we do see them at Federation HQ or elsewhere. I hope so, and I think we probably will, yes. Ozzy says, yes, I can tell you're upset. Not really upset, I'm just frustrated. I haven't been sleeping great, and just every little thing is getting on my nerves lately. AK Steel, $2. Federation now the antithesis of past Federation. Good Cube, no, they said they have symbiotes, but no hosts. Okay, I watched it 3 times, and I did not hear that, so I'll need to watch it again. Terry West, 111. Ooh, speaking of DS9, Tal mentions that she can make a mean Bajoran Hasperat, and I remember Book mentioned the only stable wormhole being light years away. Okay, good tea, nice house. Am I missing something? When did they all find out that she was Mary Giorgio? The last we saw in season 2 was Pike winking at her, as he knew, but nobody else did, aside from Burnham, Tilly, and Saru. I was under the impression most of the bridge crew knew, if not all of them, so. Aaron Lavelle, when Cisco told Ezri maybe she'd be better off being a pool attendant on Trill, such a great motivational speech. Trek 746561. I thought it was funny that the head Trill lady said they never removed a symbiote from a host, never forcibly removed, not just removed. I guess they forgot about Juran Dax. Oh, hi, Mark, says Ozzy. No, Book is not her brother, Species 8470. Yeah. Dan Charlatan, a haiku. I am watching Foley. This is a Star Trek live stream. Stamets' blood is on the floor. Ozzy, you'll find out in December about election in the U.S. Probably. Hezraz, I found Detmer going crazy, a bit funny. I just hope she disappears. I do not like her character. She should sacrifice herself for the ship. Just, she can leave. It's fine. SC Scout guy. In the episode, the monk said, the burn decimated our population, particularly those capable of joining. We no longer have enough viable hosts. Okay, I'll have to go back and rewatch that. Blue Shirt Picard, the lady is from Schitt's Creek. Yeah, we found that out yesterday when we did our prediction video. Squadra Course, $2. Would be neat to see the Federation and Starfleet D7 equivalent. Grid Cube, the guy in red says the burn decimated our population, specifically those capable of joining, and we no longer have enough viable hosts. Okay, like I said, I'll have to go back and listen to that in context and see, because I didn't catch that. I didn't get that. Rebel Poet 71. That's cold. What's so bad about her? I just don't know. I just don't like her character. I never have. I also don't like the actress for different reasons, but I just don't like her character. I don't know how to describe it. It's just a feeling that I just don't like the character. Terry West 111. They sacrificed Detmer and they'll need a new pilot. Piloting's easy, man. Eric the Bat. I love how she says too, I landed this ship. I landed Discovery. Did you? Because it fucking looked like you crashed it. You didn't land it. So let's try that again. Don't get me started on Detmer. I just don't like her character. Aaron Lavelle. Anyone else immediately think the burn is short for Burnham? Everybody suggested that early on. And no, I think that's just ridiculous. Terry West 111. I'm willing to bet the Federation will be darker than the one we know. It'll be up to Discovery to restore the Federation's original ideals. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely will be. Dan Cheritan, but Detmer has to live so that Shax can rip out her implant and throw it into the Sequoia shuttlecraft. John McHugh, think that Michelle Paradise is doing a great job with this season. It feels like Trek to me now to see that Control wasn't dragged into it so far, but yeah. We don't need to see or hear about Control ever again. Dave Knowles, the stunts surrounding Joran Dax was kept very secret. The events surrounding Joran Dax were kept very secret. And given how well the Trill kept secrets, they could have buried those They could have buried those events against. My brain hurts. Aaron Lavelle says, like Voyager became V'ger when the space dirt covered the letters, Burnham becomes Burn. Captain Casey Stewart doesn't like Detmer either. Make a new Facebook group, the We Hate Detmer group. Blue Shirt Picard, why wouldn't they scan her back to Earth? Did Disco get the latest Windows update? Why wouldn't they scan her back to Earth? Back on Earth? Why wouldn't they scan who back on Earth? What? Wow. Richard Droid, Trill definitely doesn't have enough viable hosts. That's why they're happy when the pools worked. I take it as genetic engineering to make hosts isn't valuable either. Yeah. Ozzy, she crashed the ship. Jadic Productions, so we lost control. That's cool. Hezraz, no, she didn't. Not every woman crashed the ships. LOL. Okay. If you think she landed the ship, then AK Steel, hoping we see a bunch of new Federation ships when they spore in next episode. I hope so too. Squadra Course, what powers the cities in Trek? Do they have big antimatter reactors? If so, wouldn't the burn have destroyed this big cities too? All right, for the last time, dilithium is not a power source. Dilithium is a refinement process within the warp core. So after the matter-antimatter reaction generated in the reactor, it gets fed through the dilithium crystals, which focuses the stream into concentrated warp plasma. That warp plasma is what makes high-speed warp possible. Low-speed warp is fine. You don't need dilithium crystals for low-speed warp. Zephyr Cochrane got to warp with the Phoenix without dilithium crystals. Dilithium crystals are not a power source. They are a refinement process for the warp plasma to allow higher warp speeds. So no, there was no need for dilithium necessarily in reactors on planets. For the last time. Which won't be the last time. Ming W. Lee, Captain, do you like the pace of the story so far? If not, in your reference, is it too fast or too slow? I think it's just fine the way it is. This one had a few scenes that dragged on a little bit too long, I think. But overall, the pacing this season has been really good, and I've really enjoyed it. Season 1 dragged a little bit for me. I didn't enjoy it at all. But other than that, it's been pretty good. Dreamer out there, all the story was on Trill with Burnham and Adira. While on Disco, everyone else had nothing to do, so it came off as filler. It would have been more interesting if the Doctor were on Trill. I think it would have been better if the Doctor went down too. That being said, I think the stuff on Discovery was much more interesting. The interpersonal relationship stuff was all right, but the whole hinting that Discovery is now becoming sentient because of the split personality computer is kind of cool. So that's the part that I was interested in. Hello, Donnie Pearson. Ryan K. Would have been nice if they had actually said where HQ was when they worked it out. Marvin R. It was a creative landing. I like that one. That's good. I'll agree to that. Jada Productions. Dilithium is the fucking spark plugs. Yes, pretty much. Not even. Because you need the spark plugs to run the machine. You don't need dilithium to run an antimatter reactor. But anyway. Blue Shirt Picard, the human Trill host, they scanned her in the beginning. Wouldn't Earth have been better tech? You'd think so, wouldn't you? Dan Chariton, if you guys called it correctly, in the Trill pools, they had former hosts wearing the Picard era outfits. Yes, they had a few different Starfleet outfits there, actually. And Samuel was the one that called that. I said they probably wouldn't do that, so gotta give them credit for doing it. Supadan 323. Not sure if they've already covered, but did anyone else think that it was silly that 1,000 years in the future, a shard of glass in the abdomen is a death sentence? Yeah, it was a little bit weird. Grid Cube. From what I understood, the symbiotes have evolved to the point where they can teleport people to a parallel dimension, so they might have decided that Trills are no longer the hosts they want. Maybe? Hezraz, I never said she landed the ship. I just said she didn't crash it. She crash landed the ship. You can crash where you explode or crash where you survive. Okay, but she said she landed the ship, and she's full of shit because she did not land the ship. Dystopian guy. Dilithium is a catalyst enabling a reaction to take place. John McHugh. Come on, Captain. It was a choice between PTSD or Control. Control would have been a terrible plot point. I'm pretty confident that the burn will have nothing to do with Burnham. Writers are trolling. Yeah, I'm glad that Control is not in Detmer's implant. That just would have annoyed me to no end. Terry West 111, split personality computer interests me too. Good stuff for a Trek tech geek, lol. Squadra course, per memory alpha, dilithium is used to regulate the matter-antimatter reactions, so I would think that all matter reactors have it. SC Scout Guide, dilithium is more like a vehicle's coil. It takes power from the alternator and then regulates it before it sends it to the distributor. Dilithium is just the octane booster. There you go. The ship becoming Zora was really cool. Remember, it takes 1,000 years for that ship to become that sent. Well, not exactly 1,000 years. It takes however long it takes, a couple hundred years probably, for it to become super sentient. But anyway. And Andrew Prime, considering Discovery isn't designed for planetary landings, I would say she crashed it. Grid Cube, the show is being incredibly self-aware, poking at the whole Burnham does inspirational shit and giving an actual reason for her to be on the planet. Culber had to be up to be a catalyst of change. Blue Shipper Card, we know Disco will get those new pins. Do you think new suits are in order as well? No, they won't get new suits. They'll keep the stupid, dumbass asymmetrical collars, but they'll get the new comm badges. And the new comm badges are probably going to include a personal transporter as well in them, which I think is cool. So, Richard Joy, there better be some new uniforms, but after seeing the sneak peek, not so sure I like those either. David Knowles, the ship was on land at the end, so she technically did land the ship. And all of them walked away at the end, so it even goes down as a good landing. Well, any landing you can walk away from, sure. Amir Brooks, well, we all know Stamets did not crash land the ship, so Detmer might have a point. Medallion, why does the new Federation HQ look like an Apple store? Because they took notes from JJ. Matthew Mahler, do you think Discovery, the ship, will get a refit, or is the 1K-year-old ship just going to stay like it is? It's just going to stay like it is. I would love to see it refitted, but well, guys, sorry I really haven't been myself tonight. Like I said, I'm just literally these last 2 weeks haven't been getting as much sleep as I normally should or could. Last night I took a sleeping pill. It's supposed to take an hour before you go to bed. took about an hour before I was going to go to bed, and like 3.5 hours later, I still wasn't tired from it. Finally went down to bed, got some sleep, and then couldn't wake up in the morning because the pill knocked me the hell out. Took me forever though. My body is very treatment resistant, and so if I take medication for too long, it doesn't do anything. And I find a lot of times when I take medication, it takes a lot longer to kick in than usual. So that being said, I don't know why I'm talking about that because it really doesn't matter for anything. But I just haven't been feeling myself, and I want to apologize to you guys if it comes off that way, if I'm a little bit short. I've been short with everybody, and I really shouldn't be. That includes people at home here. And just we were doing constant daily lives for quite a while. We actually took Tuesday off this week, which was a nice little break. But there's just been so much going on. So I apologize if I'm coming off a little bit different than usual. So Ming W. Lee, you seem really stressed out, Captain. Maybe it's time to rest or at least relax for the night. Yeah, it's been an hour. I'll probably wrap it up here in a minute or two. But Squadron Course, $2. No apologies needed. Appreciate you hanging out. No, I love hanging out, but I just find that when I'm in this kind of mood, a lot of the comments kind of irritate me, especially the ones that I've addressed about 5,000 times in the past. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault for commenting or asking if you hadn't seen those lives. And I shouldn't take it out like that. But yeah, I just want to apologize. So there you go. Don't worry. The VW boy, AF1. Don't worry, Captain. That's just a normal Tuesday at my house. Yeah. Medallion says get well, Cap. I'm not that I'm not well. I'm not sick. I've just been off for some reason, and I don't know why. So anyway, I'll probably call it quits here. I liked the episode. I thought it was a little bit slow in some areas, a little bit too much drag in a few spots. That being said, it was actually very well written. It definitely had an emotional impact on people, and that I think is something that we haven't got a lot out of from Discovery. So I appreciate that. So there's almost like an A, B, and C story here. The A being the Trill part, the B being the crew, Detmer, Stamets, Tilly, kind of at each other. And then the C plot being the ship is now splitting between the computer and the sphere data, which I thought was very interesting. And that's the plot that I'm interested in because of Calypso. Calypso is by far the best short trek that they've had, and I'm glad they're going to be tying that in now because you can see the threads being lined up, getting ready to be knitted into something very cool. So that's the most interesting part of this episode. It's the shortest part of this episode for me. So yeah, I'm not sure where I'm going to rank this one or how I'm going to score it when it comes to our review tomorrow. That being said, please tune into our... Oh, look, it's O'Brien on Empok Nor. That being said, tune in tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our live review, where we break this down scene by scene and talk about each thing. Not sure whether Samuel's going to like this episode. As far as I know, he could love it or he could absolutely hate it. Because a lot of times when I think he's going to love it, he absolutely hates it because there's plot holes or whatever. But yet when I point out plot holes, he loves the episode. Anyway, I just don't even know anymore. So it'll be interesting to get his take on it. So in the afternoon, we'll have our edited review, and then at 5 o'clock, we'll do our live full review. So tune in for that, guys. Fleet Paw Swiftback throws in $2. Going to pay for 150 here. At 148, we can do it. We have 153 now, so yes, we did hit it. So that is awesome. Soul Tyranny. I find Detmer interesting. She's luring me in, and I want to figure her out. Well, you go ahead and be lured in by her, because I just want her to fuck off. I just don't like her character, and I don't think anything that happens to her I can redeem her in my eyes. Plus, the actress is just a bitch. So, but that's a personal story from Vegas. But that's neither here nor there. Aaron Lavelle, I thought Detmer was possessed by the computer. It turns out it was just garden variety PTSD. I fell for the red herring, lol. I called the PTSD, and I said it wasn't control. I said it wasn't anything like that, so. Medallion, I wouldn't say necessarily she's a bitch. That's just my take on it. She's more full of herself and stuck up compared to the rest of the bridge crew and the other cast members. Let's put it that way. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'm sorry again. I apologize for kind of being a little bit short with people and a little bit not myself. It's not really who I am, so I apologize. I shouldn't do the lives if I don't feel it, but they are scheduled. They are a weekly thing until Discovery's done. So here we are. We're going to keep doing them, and hopefully we'll make it through. So anyway, have a good one, and I'll catch you guys later.